And we back. Day number 2 of our 30-day upload challenge. If y'all missed yesterday's video, I am embarking on a 30-day upload challenge, which means that for the next 30 days, your boy is going to try to upload at least one video on his main channel and one video over at the gaming channel. It's a lot tougher than it sounds. But if I miss just one upload, I got to give away a free jersey to somebody that retweeted this tweet. So link is in the description to the tweet if you want to enter a chance to win. But your boy got this, all right? So a couple weeks ago, I dropped a video named Grading NBA Players, and you guys loved that video. You guys killed the like button. You said do more of this. And today we're doing a version of that is very similar as we try to talk about players' strengths and weaknesses. So we're doing it similar to the last time. We got this large stack of NBA players, NBA player cards. And here we got stars, bench warmers, role players. So we will be hitting all aspects. And what I'm going to do, whoever name I draw, I got to tell you what I think one of their biggest strengths are and one of their biggest weaknesses. These are impromptu videos, so there's not a lot of research that go into this, so it won't be numbers, advanced stats and stuff. Just fun between me and you. And I want you in the comment section to play along as I draw players, okay? So let's get into the first one. SeatGeek is an app that aggregates tickets from all over the web to make buying simple. Not only do they get tickets from all over the web, but they let you know what's a good deal and what's not. They rank tickets from 0 to 100, green to red. Green meaning that's the best deal, and red meaning don't buy those because they're trying to get into your pockets. Not only that, but they show you a picture of what your view would look like from the tickets you're thinking about buying. If you want to go to any sports events, any concert, SeatGeek is the way to go. Link is in the description. Use the code KOT4Q for $20 off your purchase. So you got to do this special kind of shuffle because you don't want to bend your cards, because you never know in 10 years. Some of these cards, well, okay, they won't end up being worth anything. But we'll stop shuffling in 3, 2, 1. And the guy on top is Kevin Durant. Okay, so like I said, we got stars, bench warmers, everything in here. We start off one of the biggest stars in the league with KD. KD's biggest strength is he is so good offensively. And I know that's so weird, but he has no holes in his offensive game. Every way you can score the ball offensively, Kevin Durant has it in his game. Whether it be a three-point shot, mid-range, drive into the paint, in the post, Kevin Durant has no flaws in his offensive game. And part of that is because whether you want to agree with this or not, Kevin Durant is basically a 7-foot guard. I know he classifies himself as like 6'9", but we know that you're 7 foot, Kevin. We've seen you next to DeMarcus. We've seen you next to other teammates. You are 7 foot, all right? He is a 7-foot guard, which means that other 7-footers are not fast enough to keep up with him, and the guys that are fast enough to keep up with him, well, Kevin Durant will just shoot right over him. So his size and his lack of offensive holes are the two biggest strengths I can give of Kevin Durant. Now, weaknesses, if you were to ask me this before last season, I'd be like, oh, Kevin Durant's biggest weakness, he's not a great defender. But this year, he showed that he can be. You know, he can be a pretty good defender. So I think Kevin Durant's weaknesses comes off court. You know, it comes off court. And y'all probably get where I'm coming with this. I'm not one of those people that say Kevin Durant is a snake, because I respect his decisions on whatever he does. But the whole burner account thing, you know, that's something that says something about him mentally, you know, that he felt the need to defend himself with a fake profile, you know. So his weaknesses, nothing to do with basketball. It's more of outside basketball. So that's a good person to start off with. I feel like Kevin Durant, when it's all said and done, when he retires in however many years, and I'm personally making a list of players the best players Kenny got to watch play live, Kevin Durant may end up being number 2 or number 3 on that list. And that means a lot, because we have seen a lot of great NBA players since I started watching basketball. Kevin Durant is going to be up there. That's a good one to start off with. I'm going to shuffle a couple more times, and then we're going to get back to it as we get Chris Dunn. Hey, Chicago Bull. I was hoping we got a Bull. Chris Dunn is a GOAT with, man. I'm a man that can admit when he was wrong, right? When you think about the Jimmy Butler trade, we traded Jimmy Butler for Zach LaVine, Chris Dunn, a first-round pick that turned into Larry Marketing. If you check my tweets from that day, I was pretty furious because what I saw of Chris Dunn from his rookie season was very mediocre, right? He didn't get a lot of playing time, and then when he did get playing time, he had one of the most inefficient seasons in NBA history. You know, NBA history. So I was like, why do we make this trade for this guy that seems like he's a bust? And that is a prime example, y'all, that you shouldn't be judging a player based off his first year, his second year, even his third year. You should not be calling players busts and stuff that early. Dumb Kenny, last year, Kenny was dumb, right? I would never do that again for an NBA player. But this year he showed me, like, he became one of my favorite players in the league, honestly, because I watched him night in and night out, and the best strength I have for him is defensive tenacity. He is a guy that I don't think I've ever noticed him take a play off defensively, which means that he's all in your grill. I think about, you remember that first game of the season that Patrick Beverley was all in, he was all in the Ball brothers, Lonzo Ball's face and his grill, that tenacity that not a lot of guards or not a lot of players play defense with. Chris Dunn has potential to have that level of tenacity. And in the second NBA season, he showed that. His biggest downfall, probably his shooting ability. You know, he did have a period of time and he was shooting pretty well, but I think we can agree that he's not the best shooter. You know, I was watching games, clutch time situation. Chris Dunn has hit big shots, but sometimes you like, oh, Chris, pass the ball, Chris. No, Chris, no, Chris. And I think that has to do with being youthful, and, you know, he doesn't really understand just yet that he's not a great shooter. You know, he's not a great three-point shooter, but I feel like he's going to be a great point guard for us through the future. Well, great is an overstatement. I think he's going to be a pretty good point guard for us over this rebuild that we're going through. I really like Chris Dunn. Did y'all see me choke the Lonzo Ball name? It's late, man. I record videos at like 3 o'clock in the morning, so I be getting my words mixed up. So next guy on our list is Devin Booker. It's Devin Booker, which is a good one. Obviously, Devin Booker's best asset is his shooting ability, right? This season, he showed that he can basically shoot with the greatest we have in this league. In the All-Star Weekend, the boy was just on fire. He's one of the best shooters we have in today's game. You think about, what is he, 22 years old, maybe 23? Not even. The guy's one of the best shooters we have in the league at this young age. So that's a great thing. His biggest weakness would be that he turns the ball over a lot. He turns the ball over a lot. I think he, like, without even looking at stats, I think he averaged close to 4 turnovers a game this year. It's not that great. And you can say that's because, I mean, he's in Phoenix and who else is going to handle the ball, but you want your players to be better and more protective of that peel. But again, he's 21, 22, I don't know, 23 years old. So he's got a lot of time to discover how to protect the ball. He's going to be so great. I mean, even this year, he was good. He's really good. I think he's going to be great. So we'll move on to the next one. Next on the list is Ricky Rubio. Okay, Ricky Rubio, his best thing is, of course, his playmaking ability. And second to that, his defense. Ricky Rubio has been a very underrated defender for, it seems like, his entire career. I think it has to do with, honestly, I think it has to do with him being, he's not fast. He's not super fast. So when you think about him guarding a guy like Russell Westbrook, you're like, how can he keep up? Or Russell, his defense is pretty good, you know, without having the quickest feet in the world. So because he's not that quick-footed, people kind of overlook him as a good defender. But he definitely is a good defender. Playmaking-wise, we know he's super flashy with it. And a lot of the European guards that come over from the NBA, from wherever they are, usually are really good playmakers. And not even just the guards, even the big men are pretty good playmakers. And Ricky Rubio is definitely one of the guys that is an example of that. Whether it be flashy passes, just a simple lob to like Rudy Gobert, or just even a simple chest pass in the right position. Ricky Rubio has that. I would say his biggest weakness is his shooting ability. He's always had that weird hitch in his jumper, but even this year, he shot the ball better than he ever shot before. This was his career year, and I think it had to do with he came into this season with tattoos and a beard. Like, he looked like a whole different man. Is that Ricky Rubio under that beard and that long hair? I don't know, man. Now you don't know. But I would say those are the biggest strengths and weaknesses of Ricky Rubio. George Hill. Okay, we'll do George Hill. I would say one of George Hill's biggest strengths is that he's not one of those players to play out of his role or take a shot that is ill-advised. I don't know of many times I'm watching George Hill, whether it be this year with the Cavs or a couple years ago with Utah, where he had like his career year, where I'm watching and I'm like, why would he shoot that? You know, George Hill's one of those guys that he plays his role. He mostly plays it relatively well, but along with that, strength-wise, he's always been a pretty good perimeter defender, so he'll try to clap up your best point guard or your best guard. He's always got that. Now, when it comes to weaknesses, his durability has been kind of questionable for the last 3 or 4 years, but again, that's not something you can necessarily control. These injuries are just a lot of bad luck. But weakness number 2 is that George Hill has a tendency of kind of going quiet. And I'm basing that off, again, his 20-something games in Cleveland, including the playoffs, and then even the Utah year, you were like, man, is George Hill playing? No, that's George Hill on the court right there. What is he doing? You know, what is he doing? He's just not a very consistent NBA player. And I mean, when it comes to an NBA team that's trying to compete like this tonight, right? Tonight we have Finals Game 1. You need some consistency. And George Hill just don't necessarily got that. And we'll end it on here with our last one being DeMar DeRozan. Okay, DeMar DeRozan's biggest thing is like that mid-range game, that mid-range area, he destroys that. That is the best thing I can say about DeMar DeRozan. When it comes to the mid-range shot, whether it be like a post fade or just getting one dribble pull-up in the mid-range area, DeMar DeRozan is probably the best in the league. Like, we don't really see guards like that no more. I mean, Kobe was a mid-range killer, and DeMar DeRozan is that too. And I'm guessing DeMar DeRozan framed his entire game over Kobe or something similar to that. But his biggest weakness is like a couple steps behind that mid-range rim, he ain't got it. And like we're at a league right now where three-pointers are super, super important. Like this year, he did shoot more threes, and he actually shot them relatively well, but it's still not a strong suit. It's still a weakness to him that he doesn't feel super comfortable. He feel comfortable shooting right here, but not right here. You feel me? So hopefully this year, like DeMar DeRozan has been a guy to add something to his game every season, and hopefully he adds a three-point shot this year. And I hope Toronto put together some pieces and actually end up doing something more than they did last year. And thank you so much for watching this video. Again, these are all impromptu, so they're off the top of the head. We could go into numbers, advanced stats, but that's not super fun. I'd rather just ramble on. Hopefully you did enjoy it. Maybe you didn't agree, but you found some entertainment. If you like this idea, destroy that like button, y'all. Let me see some crazy amount of likes here. All right, I really appreciate it. Again, link is in the description to two things. We got my gaming channel, we're doing every day on there, and then my podcast dropped our NBA Finals preview. So if you want to listen to that before you actually watch the game, kind of see what we thinking, link to the description to that. So thank y'all so much. Appreciate y'all.